Today we're going to revisit the Swedish brand Emmaljunga, looking at their new lineup, which has dumped the name NXT and currently consists of the Kite, the Sento, Sento Pro, Sento Max, Sento Lux, the Twin, and the Alu S Air. Right off the bat, I want to note that, despite all the new names, most of these models are mechanically 99% the same as the NXT series, and represent more of a streamlining of their lineup as a whole, with the only exception being the Alu S Air, which is an updated relaunch of a previously discontinued chassis type. We covered the Kite and the Twin pretty extensively in our look at the NXT line last year, as well as in our mini review of the Kite itself, but I felt it would be worthwhile to clarify the other models a bit, where one important thing to understand up front is that all Emmaljunga models, other than the Kite, take the same bassinet and seats, of which there are two types: the Ergo seat, which has a bucket design with an adjustable leg rest, and the flat seat, which is more malleable, with the backrest reclining independently of the baseboard to allow for a true flat position. As far as the Sento models go, the Sento and Sento Pro share the same chassis, which is the smaller of two types, relatively similar in size to the NXT 60, and with the difference between the two versions being a matter of wheel size, with the basic Sento having smaller, urban-oriented wheels, and the Pro version having slightly larger wheels, giving it a little more versatility over lighter rough terrain. The Sento Lux and Sento Max also share the same chassis, which is essentially the same as the NXT 90, and which is larger, allowing for more storage and the accommodation of even bigger wheels, making it, as with the NXT 90, arguably the hardiest four-wheeled reversible seat off-roading model on the market. Mechanically, the Max and Lux distinctions on this larger chassis are mainly about the choice between rougher treaded terrain versus smooth tires, a choice that used to be available for all of their models, though information on whether this is still the case is hard to find at the moment. The Alu S Air chassis, as I already mentioned, is different, a throwback design to the days of the older Viking series, and while I like the Sento models, having already been a fan of the NXT series, I'm a bit more iffy with the Alu S Air, as older versions of this chassis often showed up at the workshop with a variety of issues, and while the front housings on the Alu S Air do seem to be a bit heftier and better reinforced than those old Viking models, where the fork axles sometimes wound up cracking the housings, the Alu does seem to have brought back Emmaljunga's older suspension system, which was frankly a bit of a nightmare, leaving me hoping that improvements have been made internally that can't be seen from the outside. So anyway, that's some updated info regarding the Emmaljunga line. As I mentioned, we took a more thorough look at the full NXT series last summer, and if you're interested in getting an Emmaljunga model then, I recommend checking out that video as well, which has been linked in the description. In addition, if you're currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide on our Patreon page which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle related information. You can find it by following its separate link in the description as well. Thank you.